In this video, I'll show you how I made these angle jigs to use in conjunction with my ultimate radial arm saw tabletop, which will allow you to just make straight cuts, keeping that zero clearance on the fence while still being able to cut all the different angles you may want. For a detailed video on how I built this tabletop for my radial arm saw, I'll put a link in the description to the ultimate radial arm saw tabletop build, which will take you step by step through the process that I used. To get started, I set up my table saw with a miter gauge angled at 45 degrees. You can use whatever angle you prefer. I also made a second one at 22.5 degrees, as these are my two most popular angle cuts. The factory miter gauge that comes with these table saws aren't always true dead nuts accurate. So before making a cut, I double checked the angle with my adjustable protractor. Made my cut and then double checked the result. Since MDF edges are prone to damage, I decided to edge band the jigs with some thin strips of walnut I had laying around. As you can see here, I'm ripping them down to just over 1/2 inch thick to minimize the amount of flush cutting and planing I have to do. Next, I hand cut these bands since they were so thin and did a dry layout. Once I had all the sides cut to size, I glued the thin strips on and used pin nails to hold them in place to dry. Here I am planing the edges of the bands flush with the panel. I took a measurement from the edge of the table to the center of the T-track and made a mark on the panel. This is where I drilled a 5/16 inch hole to accommodate the T-bolt. Now I install the jig in the T-track and make the virgin cut. As you notice, I cut the tip of the jig off. This was intentional, as I didn't want the tip of the jig, where the cut takes place, to be right up against the fence. This allows me to have boards protrude a little further and gives me some adjustability as to where my cut is. As you can see here, I checked the angle and it was a perfect 45 degrees. Last step is to put a protective finish on these things so they last me for years to come. I applied 4 coats of homemade shellac and the jigs were complete. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on how to build these templates to utilize along with the ultimate radial arm saw tabletop that I designed here. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this type of content, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll continue to bring content that you'll enjoy.